Hey, welcome to this morning's broadcast. I'm up early. We're gonna get to work on these tips. Um, I guess you can hear me okay. I think we're streaming at a high enough bit rate. I have no clue. Things are changing on YouTube for some reason. We might end up having a problem, but we'll get it fixed. I can't believe that we already had a viewer this early in the morning. Anyway, I have one tip done, and I'm going to shape the outside of this, and I'll show you how I'm going to repair all this stuff. If you were with me yesterday, I cut the tips off, and I'll show you the other side. It's finished, except the silk span hasn't been repaired, but it's not a problem. This has already been hollowed and glued back on and finished sanded. It just needs the silk span repaired. That's this tip here. It has some wrinkles in the silk span. What I'll do is I'll cut this back in an arc like that and then put on the patch, pull it down, and dope it. So the first thing I need to do, like I say, is finish the other tip. Now, this tip turned out really nice. I mean, it's a lot better than the other tips that I had on it. I did take a weight penalty, though, 5 grams. The other tip was 7. This one's 13. But whatever, so we're looking at a 10-gram weight gain. Everything you do from here on out is gaining weight anyway, so. But the look will be much nicer. These are hollowed to about 3/32, and I'm going to show you how I do that. And it doesn't take any time at all to do this job. You do it my way. I finished that this morning. I've been up since 3 o'clock. My normal wake up time. So, we're going to rough this tip in. I do this action with the plane. John said something yesterday about taking notebook paper and covering up the wing. I didn't do that on the other side. I just was careful, and I'll show you how I do that. I don't want to take any chances putting any tape on this tissue because there's not really that much dope on it. And through this process, this should take about an hour. We'll be on about an hour. I should have this tip finished in, I guess it took about an hour for the other one. The cleanup took longer than the job. You could sand this with a 80 grit or 36 or whatever, but I find that cutting the wood off is always a lot faster than sanding it off. Now this tip has a center line where I joined it. I didn't use any center rib or center tip plate. A lot of guys will put an 1/8 inch piece of balsa between the two and then sand to that and split it open and do that, but that's not how this tip is going to work. So let's get that. this up here. I got a trash can under here. Just little bites of the master air screw plane. You know, part of building models, I don't know the skill level of you guys watching, but I do remember Steve Hines saying, you know, I make it look easy. Well, it is easy. But in order to make it look easy, you have to be able to use the tools. I'm a mechanic, and I know that there's a tool for everything. If you don't have a tool, make a tool. Tools are the key. I just put a new blade in this because it wasn't acting right. Yesterday, I normally use a number 26 blade like this to do these operations, but the planes, this wood is 3.5 pound wood. The plane works really good. But you just take little shavings off it with this number 26 blade. Yesterday at John's, I was going to go ahead and do this before I left there, but he didn't have a number 26 blade, and he had one that was old, and we tried to sharpen it, but you cannot get these blades as sharp as a new blade. And if it's not sharp, you're doing more damage than good. Even this one here is getting rather dull. So in a real short time here, we've knocked off, I don't know, 90% of the wood that I needed to do. And when I turn it over, you'll see how quick that it goes from a full 1 inch thick down to a shaped tip. So what I'm getting at, to make it look easy, know how to use the tools. There's a way to hold them, a way to set them, a way to use them. And if you don't know, find somebody that knows how and ask them. The only dumb question's the one you didn't ask, because you end up screwing stuff up. Okay, so let's turn it over. We got the top side roughed in. We'll sand from there. So as you can see, this is a full 1 inch thick, uncut block of wood. And you'll see how fast it goes. So you take your razor plane. I'm making a huge mess. And like I said, this is an apartment. I kind of got to be mindful of the mess. You watch the old, you know, don't just watch my videos. Don't just watch model airplane videos. Go on YouTube and find the Japanese joinery videos. Find the Amish cabinet making videos. The guys who make wagon wheels. Watch how they do things. There's some guys, you know, I'm mid-60s. There's some guys from the 1800s that really knew their stuff. I'm taking quite a bite on this one, but I need to move some material off here. All these tools, like 36 grit sandpaper, and we're just moving material. It helps to have considerably better light than I have in this little closet apartment. But we might go back over John's today if he'll have it. I don't think I'm going to take all the camera equipment though. That was kind of a letdown that I couldn't make it work. I'll just take the phone. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And if you enjoy the videos and think that I can offer you something in your building skills, become a member. It's about $5 a month. And for $5 a month, where you're going to get all the tips, tricks, and how-tos, plus all the special footage. I'll try to get the Al Ray Bearcat video up today for the members. And memberships are different than subscriberships. Okay, so we're getting close. Almost time to start grinding with the paint stick I made. Okay. All this does is save sanding. Keep looking at it. Make sure you're pulling it down in equal amounts both sides. And all we got is the front here. We've been running 12 minutes. And I've got this roughed in already. When you're planing, try to go with the grain. You can go against the grain, but what it does is it balls the wood up. It's only taking about 10 thousandths of swipe. If you got your blade set to any more than 10 thousandths, you're wasting your time. Okay, we'll sand from there. We got quite a bit off. I might need to plane again. Okay, let me pick up these shavings so I don't grind them into the carpet. Sorry about that. Like John said, these videos that I do are not scripted. They're showing you in raw time and raw footage of how I do things. Hopefully not as boring as Wendy videos or raid videos, but okay, we got most of it picked up here. Okay, now the second trick for doing tips or sanding anything is once again the tools. This is a paint stick. It has 80 grit sticky back sandpaper stuck to both sides. Now, if I had some 180, I would probably stick one side with 180 and one side with 80, like I have this motor mount stuck with 80 on one side, 180 on the other. But these are the tools to go ahead and finish it off with. So let's turn this over. We'll start from the side we started first. Now when I sand with these sticks, don't sand this way. What that'll do is make it flat. You want to sand against or cross grain and in a rolling motion. And this won't take long. We'll have this done within the hour, the outside anyway. And then the inside we'll cut it apart, scoop it out, and put in the lead out adjustment block, which is already made up. Now I went from the slider to my normal push thimbles because the push thimbles is lighter than the slider. And seeing as that I'm going to give up a little on the tip weight, the outboard tip was 7, the original with the slider or with no slider 7. This outboard tip is 13, so we lost 5. This one here was 9 on the other airplane with the slider. We got to try to get it to, 5 grams difference. So that way I only lose 10 grams, which is still quite a bit. And yes, I get 6-ounce finishes. I don't understand how you guys don't understand that. If you were here and I put you on the diet, you'd get one too. You can't open a can of paint, use it all, and expect to get a 6-ounce finish. You have to paint without using paint. If there's a way to do it. This is about as boring as it gets, but it all needs to be done. Check your work, make sure you're not getting any flat spots in it. Now if you go like this way, you'll get flat spots in it. And that'll look like dick. You can only go this way when you're hand sanding. And even hand sanding will put flat spots in it. Around this compound curve, boy, I'm getting a lot of dust on the floor. around this compound curve, the little circles. Oh. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, there's a wrinkle in the tissue, but it will be out when I fix these wingtips, recover them. You'll never know I did this job. Let's see what they got to say here. Yeah, I'm up early. I'm always up early. 3 o'clock in the morning is when I usually get up. Especially when I get this close on a project. I'll be working on this thing all hours of the night. It's quiet. I don't have the neighbor banging on his guitar. Let's see here. John, like I say, wanted me to put paper over this, but I don't want to put any tape on this tissue. It doesn't have enough dope on it. It could ruin it. So just be careful with a stick, and don't be grinding into the wing. So in 20 minutes, we basically roughed these outside these tips in. Plus, like I say, if I was not on video, I could do it even faster. If I didn't have to worry about the dust in here, I could do it faster too. You'll notice how I'm rolling the sanding block over here. That's so we get a nice round, even tip. Like I say, YouTube has a million videos on different things like wagon wheels and such. Portugal. $5:20 in Houston. Yeah, well, like I said, I was up at 3. 3 Eastern, so that'd be like 2 o'clock in the morning your time. Let me turn this thing down. It looks like it's clipping still. All right, how about there? Yeah. I need to check the settings against the other computer. I'm going to get everything set up correctly. Yeah, it's not clipping now. I guess the audio is better. Volume probably went down a little bit, so you might have to turn it up. What happened to the tip? I did not like the looks of it. I thought the solid tips would look better. Could I have used it? Yeah. But because this is no longer, I'm no longer trying to make the nationals with this airplane. Decided to go for, it's going to cost me 10 grams, but I decided to go for the look. We'll just have to lose 10 grams somewhere else. And this is such in your face. Okay. So I've got it close on that side. Now I take a piece of this sticky back paper and we'll do a little hand sanding, but not much. This is 80 grit. And then we'll drop down to 180. If you started with me this morning at, I don't know, 20 minutes ago or whatever, half an hour ago, you'll know that this block started out solid and we shaped it pretty close to finish sanding the final shape into it. Like I said, this only takes about an hour. I know darn well most of you guys would not have cut those tips off. But I did this motorcycle one time. I stretched the backbone and de-raked it. And it was only off by half an inch. I had the bike all done and decided, you know what, I don't like that. I did it again. You have to live with it. That's part of being the nut job that I am. Okay, we don't want to go any more there because it's bouncing, it looks like. I don't know. So we stay away from right there until we finish sand it. Cut it off. Got to cut it off yet. That's close enough. Yeah, that's close enough. Don't worry about this. This will go away when I pull it together. I'll pull that in there. I'll have to slit the tissue and pull it together and glue it. But this repair, like I say, you'll never know. The only way you'll know that it was done is that I'm showing you on camera. What happened to my stick? There it is. Ah, good thing I hardened up the wood on that fuselage. Yeah, you gotta stop there. Starting to peel up the paper. Part of sanding is knowing when to stop too. You can go too far. Well, back to what I was getting at. I watch videos on YouTube about hammer welding and hydroforming, and you say, well, why? Because all that stuff can be used in modeling. I watch engineering videos about stress tests, and there's something to be gleaned from just about everything. We're going to then relieve this and cut the wingtip lead out slider in here after I get it shaped. I need to position it where I think it's going to go. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm getting this basic shape now. Now you've watched me do this. There's no reason why you can't do it. I usually go to Walgreens and buy all the ladies' fingernail files, but they don't have any 80 grit files. Those wide black ones. They make great sanding tools. But if you don't have them, make your own. Popsicle sticks, piece of plywood. Okay, we've roughed that in. It's ready to be cut off and hollowed out, glued back on for final sanding. We'll check the shape here. I'm going to show you a trick too on the lead out block. This looks really wrinkled, but it's just sawdust. Of course, the tissue's wrinkled, so it's got a few wrinkles in it. Okay, got a little cleanup to do too. We'll get that after the video. Okay, now this is, like I said, this is just a rough shape, so got the 180 here, getting out the scratches of the 80 grit. We need to get this glued on so we can finish sanding the outside. But it's rough shaped. So, next thing to do, these are two different types of line sliders. Most of you guys are used to a line slider like this, which is okay. That's what was in it to begin with. But I'm going to go ahead and put in my normal line slider of the brass eyelets. So we need to kind of mark where it goes. And it goes approximately right here. And this is not rocket science. Just eyeball it. We don't need an engineering degree to figure out where lead out blocks go, especially when they're adjustable. However, because this is balsa wood and this is hardwood, there's a difference in sanding. I would suggest you break the edges off of this before you glue it in. Get it started getting rounded out, because we can always backfill it if necessary. But you start grinding on this and then grinding on the wood, you'll leave a big gouge in the balsa. Just trying to get this even close, getting the edge off. So some 80 grit knocked the edge off. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Take the 180 and get it smoothed out a little better. Just eyeball it. You know about what the edge of the tip's going to look like. Get it close. I have to say, it's a whole lot easier to do in your hand There it is to try to do in the tip. Okay, let's cut the tip off. Number 26 blade. This comes off a lot easier than it did to take it off the other one. Taking off the other one, I had to saw it off with a Zona saw. And you just don't worry about these little wrinkles in the covering, because we're going to cut this back and then put a new piece of tissue on it, pull it out, it'll all tighten up, you will never see it. We were talking yesterday on dope being a forgiving medium. It truly is. Okay, I have a tip, sanded the basic shape. What happened to my block? There it is. We're going to inset this block, so yeah, we'll have to do this on the when we get it split open. I just use the finger method, leave about 3/16 all the way around. We're gonna sand it to 3/32, but if you leave 3/16, you'll leave yourself some sanding room. So there's that. Number 26 again. I got to find the crack. Man, these tips are really tacked together. I'll split it open. Now let's see. I want to be on the bottom side. So we want to be on the bottom side of this. Make sure this is right. And it is. We want to inset the tip block more into the bottom half of the center line than the top. And you say, well, why do you want to do that? Because landing gear and the engine hang down below the datum line. And we're trying to look, I'm no rocket scientist, I'm no engineer. I just built enough model airplanes to know what works. You want the lead outs to come out below the center line of the wing, because that's where all the weight is of the airplane. Wheels hanging down, the engine hanging down, and especially if you have a piped airplane, the pipe slung underneath the model. So we made a notch here, made a mark for a notch. I want to kind of trace out where this is going to go in here. It's still high here. So we're going to try to sand this, like I say, before I put that in there. You'll notice this was just a guesstimate shape. The original piece here was just a guesstimate on the disc sander yesterday at John's. Sanded it to half-ass shape. Now I made a mark where it's the exact shape of the tip, and I'm off 3/32. So, like I said, because this wood is so much harder than balsa wood, we're going to sand that to the line to get it close. All this model building stuff is all about steps and making it easy on yourself. Why make it hard? And we're within a 16th now. Didn't take long. Well, John, are you watching? I'm sure. Okay, I got it. I got it within reason to the line. The old windy thing, leave the line on. Within reason. You make these out of basswood. Basswood, relatively soft hardwood. You could make them out of paper mache if that's all you had. Close enough. Okay. So now, part of this process is thinking things out. Okay, I've already made that. It's going to be a little heavy on that. So anyway, we're going to have to leave some type of land in here for that block to sit. So make a mark there and a mark here. So I gotta think this through here. The best thing to do when you're using a scoop tool like I am is to take a scalpel, and you don't have to cut deep, but just break along those lines that you just drew with the scalpel. And I'll explain why in a minute here, or I'll show you why. Because I'm going to use the scoop tool. And the scoop tool is not forgiving. Should have been a surgeon. I don't know. Got to be kind of weird seeing all that blood. I can cut straight. Boy, oh boy, I don't know about all that gushing stuff. Okay, like I say, all the way around on the line. Now, one thing I want to do is I want to get a weight on this tip before I start removing material. So let's see what it weighs. Remember the other one weighed 9 grams finished. Man, this one's heavy. 31 grams. How am I going to get 31 grams out of this? Ain't happening. That's how. Yeah, we can only do what we can do. So the next trick is sit down and enjoy. I use these scoop tools, the ring. I'm gonna make. I saw how they some guys made them out of some snap-on wrenches. I got plenty of snap-on wrenches. I'm gonna make one that's of different size. But I just take them and hold this against my stomach here. And scoop it out 1/2 inch at a time. And here's the reason why you want to make those cuts. I'm going to break this. It made a nice clean edge here. Otherwise it would have broke out the wood out over this direction. Oh, I'm going to mark this weight down. It was 31. We'll get it as light as we can, but it won't be 9 grams. Not from 31. We might get it down to 15. Maybe. Yeah. That's exactly what I told you was going to happen. So if you don't make those cuts, that happens. So it's not a big problem. Just set it back in there. Remember, guys, this is only wood. It's nothing's a disaster. If it's a screw up, just glue it back, sand it off. I thought I got the cut deep enough. So then, must not have been. Yeah. Yeah. lot of guys don't like these scoop tools, but I find they remove material fast. I like fast. I don't want to spend a year grinding it out or whatever. I just want to get it done. Go on X-Acto sites. They're called gouges. Loop gouge or whatever. And they, like I say, they remove material fast. This is a hard piece of wood here for a light piece. I think that's why it's heavier than the other side. Probably should have weighed the two blocks and put the heavy one on the outside. But I didn't. It's too late now. At this time, I'm just guessing thicknesses. When you get close, best to stop and examine closely. Make some pen marks if you're too thin to stay away from those pen marks. But here I got 3/4 of an inch of material to remove. It doesn't much matter. It can be pretty aggressive. No music, no dancing girls. I'll run this video till I get the tip done, I guess. Oh, Jack Snavely's up early in the morning. Let's see what Jack has to say. Need to get my phone over here so I can check in. Yeah, I didn't like it. If you go back in the video a little bit, you get to see the finished one on the other side. It's already been hollowed and sanded and glued back on. This is the inboard side, the tough side. I saved this for last so I could show the my lead out guide theory. A lot of the top guys already know this, but you know, most of the top guys are not watching my videos. Of course, I don't know. I've had some top guys talk to me about it, but they're more for the guy who's just trying to improve his building skills. Okay, now let's cut in the lead out block. Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll do it with a knife instead of a saw. I need to get this hogged out. Might have to use a Dremel on that. That's a hard part right there. A rock hard piece of wood in one spot. Rock hard. Okay, somebody else said something there. I have to blow my nose here. Hay fever's killing me. COVID, not. I've had hay fever all my life. Boy, it's a killer for me in the summertime when I'm out flying with you guys. I have to take them Benadryl or whatever. Keep sneezing my head off. I hate taking them because I don't want the cops. Well, you're doing drugs. No, I'm not. There's a hard spot in this wood right here. Of course, it would be in the hardest spot to get at. Now, there's a fix for that. Sounds too much like a dentist's office this early in the morning. That's where the weight of this wood is, right here in this. Okay, I think they got it out of there, most of it. A lot of guys would leave the tip just like that, glue it together. Don't say you know because I've seen it when the airplanes crash. Remember, all airplanes have a life expectancy. And if I'm there when your airplane hits the ground and it looks like that inside, you're in trouble. Cool. All right, Jack, have a good day flying. All right, so we're going to get this right here, and then I'll go to the sandpaper. And then we'll cut out for the block. Okay, made too much noise now. Okay. You'll wonder what these grooves are here. And they're not a secret. There's nothing to it. It's just markers for where they're cut. So now I'll get the scalpel. And we'll remove all that. Let me blow my nose. It's driving me nuts. Got hay. I have hay fever. And then to top it off with balsa boogies, man, you can't breathe. All right, so now I'm going to take the X-Acto knife and cut into that line right there. We'll remove this piece, maybe. And that's where the lead out block goes. So now we have a little complex cutting to do. We need a holder for this. We need a holder for that lead out block. So I think I did it backwards. Oh, maybe not. No, maybe not. Okay, what do I do with the lead out block now? So we have a couple of steps on each end. The lead out block to land. And we'll have to adjust it accordingly. See, we have quite a bit sticking out there, so we'll cut this back. Is this necessary? I don't know. I just always done it this way. If you guys wanted to see the stress test, make sure you watch stress test 2 yesterday. We showed which of the tissues is the strongest and the weakest. And to our surprise, carbon veil come in third. We thought it would be dead last, but it was third. Okay, that's how it fits, just like so. That was easy enough, wasn't it? Now, hopefully I can find my jab knife so I can clean out this slot. Where did it go? I seen it here the other day. There it is. My mother gave me this knife, the last thing she gave me in life. She gave me her diamond rings and this saw. I wear the diamond rings every day. I had them made into jewelry for a man. And I use this saw as much as anything on my bench. I love this saw. Okay. Now, I could go into a big dissertation and fix all this stuff up now, but we'll just glue it together, and I want to finish this project up. You can epoxy this in if you'd like. It's not real critical. I'm just going to CA it in. I need to sand it out though a little bit. Remember, a good model is judged by the fit and finish. If it don't fit, grab some sandpaper and sand it out till it does. Where's my knife? I I can use that one. Not really. Okay, just a few seconds of tinkering there. Made the fit a lot better. Now, when I do the top, we're not going to worry about all this fancy stuff. I'm just going to cut the notch so it fits perfect. Yeah, I guess I'm happy with that. Pretty close. So I just glue it in. It's in there now. Can't move it. Not without a big rigmarole. It's in there now. Yeah, it'll be perfect. Or thereabouts. Remember I told you about breaking that edge. And it's still going to be a pain to get this to blend. Before you try to blend it too far, you want to get some dope on this wood. So we'll get it close. So now we got to finish out the inside here. Because remember, if I see your crashed airplane, it looks like that inside, you're going to catch hell from me. There ain't no reason why your airplane can't be as nice on the inside as it is on the outside. It only takes a couple of minutes. And it saves weight, stress risers, etc., etc., etc. Started out 31. Let's see what somebody else said there. I got a heck of a mess going on the floor here. I need to stop, clean it up. I'll grind it into the carpet. Yeah, I'm glad John talked me into doing this. I wouldn't have been happy. As I stated, this airplane is going to come out as nice as my Thunderbolt, or I hope to. Okay, let's sand with some open-handed sanding technique. I put a drop of CA. This is sticky back paper, but I put a drop of CA on here. How about that's John? Let's see here. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Oh, come on. Make sure the holes are big enough for the eyelets. Yeah, okay. Got it, John. I will make sure the holes are big enough for the eyelets. Well, we got John watching. He could have just typed it in there. He didn't have to type text me. Yeah, that's right. He's on his phone, so it's a lot easier to text on the phone. See, Craig Biswick said something. Let's see what's going on here. Well, Craig, I will bet you. I'll bet you $1,000 this won't be 70 ounces. You don't know how I operate. When I get to 58 ounces, I'm going to stop painting, regardless. And if you don't believe me, John's on there now. Ask him. Target weight and stop painting. I'd like it 55 ounces, but that ain't going to happen. So we'll set a realistic target weight at 58, and to get there, you stop. Now, you don't have to sand this, down to a finished sand, but at least make an effort. I don't have John's little thickness thingy, but I can tell that it's we're getting close. Down to about 3/32 of an inch. I've been doing this stuff old school so long that I really, I don't need those tools, but as I stated in the earlier part of the video, tools are nice. Tools are handy. If you guys haven't checked out the stress test, make sure you watch Stress Test 2. I think it was Brodak medium tissue was first place. Japanese tissue was second place. To our surprise, carbon bale was third place, and lightweight silk span was last place. Just remember, if I'm there when your airplane crashes and it don't look like that inside, I'm going to say, hey, what's going on here? And this is with 80. I'll go down to 180 or 220 maybe. It doesn't have to be a 400 grit finish in there. Yeah, this is a little over the top here. There's no need for this, but what the heck? I'll get every bit of it out. Close enough. All right, let's see where we're at for weight. I know damn well it ain't going to be 9 grams. Still got to hollow this one. That won't take long. Don't have all this rigmarole to go through. Let's see, how much did we drop or gain? Yeah, this is going to be around, it'll be around 15 grams. So it's a net gain of 6. So 6 and 5 is 11. I gained 11 grams by switching tips. That's about what we thought. Not quite a half ounce, but it'll be worth it. Let's see what they've said over here. Yeah, them little scale editions, they can pile the weight on. Okay, one more time. Nothing like repetition. But this one's not so hard because we don't have all that rigmarole to go through. We've already landed the block. So, finger method, make a line. You notice I leave quite a bit on the end here. Uh, really not much weight savings in this little tiny bit on the trailing edge, but it sure helps hold it onto the wing. Okay, back to the scoop method. Then I'm gonna have to pick up the floor, the mess on the floor. Oh, I forgot. Got to go around it once with the knife. Scalpel. Where'd you go? I can't believe this. It's unbelievable here how the shop eats stuff. That's not really a shop. Not really a shop. It's a closet. And in the closet, you set something down. The couch will eat it. The floor will eat it. There it is. Okay. Once again, take the scalpel. I cut in about 1/8 of an inch. Maybe 3/16. Go all the way around on the pen line. That way you won't have that problem that I showed you. That even if when I cut it, it breaks out the end grain. Ooh, cutting too far there. Of course, that's the top. I cut a little bit far, but it won't matter. I try not to go through to the other side, but I did. A couple little spots. Hopefully I can get it cut without too much problem. I don't think you could sand it out with a Dremel as fast as that. Not that much material in one swipe. It'll take considerably longer. And I'm going to make some wrench scoops like I saw made on a woodworking channel. Fox end wrench. Ah, broke it there. Got too excited. See, there's another one of them pieces like that. Not a problem. Just put it back in. As John says, it's only wood. Little CA on it. Good as new. Boring, boring, boring. Need to bring on the dancing girls. I just don't know where I'd get them. $31. Really hated to use this block on wingtips. I was saving it for a nose block. I don't know that I got any other good ones at home in St. Louis or not. I probably do. I think it feels lighter already. I've got a tip for you. Okay, almost it's close enough, I guess, to start sanding. Did I sand that other one with 180 or not? Can't remember. Feels better. Okay. Now we'll sand her out real quick and get a weight on this, glue it together. John says make sure I check that the lead out eyelets fit. I need to get these lead outs out of here so I don't glue it on without putting the lead outs out of it. Yeah, okay. That would be a disaster. Put it all together, glue it. Oh shit, didn't bring the lead outs out. But I've never done that, but you never know. Yeah, that's 180 there. So this one's cleaned up with 180 now. See? 32nd of an inch. 3/32, I mean. Get enough. Light as you're going to get it. Leave a little on the bone for finish sanding on the outside. So while it's closed, until it's glued in, really can't be finished sanded. Let me ask you this, guys. Do you want me to stream early or late? I don't know when most of you are on. I need to look at the analytics, I guess, and see who's watching when. Ah, broke it off. No problem. Just glue it back on. Okay. So we're gonna go with the grinder instead of the sandpaper. Okay. Let me grind this end, the end out here. Okay. Oh man. How long have I been on? Anybody know? 2 hours? whatever it takes to do these tips, I guess. That's real thin there. So I need to stop sanding. Glue that together. Okay, close enough. So now we'll mate these two together. And let's see. Okay, so how would you guys cut that line in there? It's around the corner. I'm just going to look at it here, and I see it's about 3/16, but we'll cut it in an eighth. Get comfortable here. Not enough. But I got a lot of taking off tools, no putting on tools, except glue. Might be enough. Might be enough. Okay. 1/16 of an inch this way. Yep, somebody just said something. So it's not enough. It's 32nd of an inch more. Let's see here. Damn all these wires. Morning, Gary. Get any more wires dangling in here? Unbelievable. John says I will quit. You're absolutely right. 58 ounces, and that's it. Stop painting. So we need to cut this a little bit bigger. I kind of want to be real careful with this because I don't want to add too much. I want to be taking off, not at putting on. Just ever so slightly. See, that's the bottom. So gonna have to have some putty there. Needs a little more. I guess I'll sand it. There we go. That's the front. Back could use just a little bit more there. And the reason why John said make sure the eyelets fit in this block is he made this block. I didn't make it. Okay. Not that I haven't made 10 million of them. Okay. Oh, it's paper thin there. Won't be no sanding on top. I got it too thin. Yeah, we know how to fix that. We know how to fix that. Wasn't paying attention. Do it one of two ways. I can cut it out or just scab it on inside. I just scab it on. There we go. Burn. Okay, here's a mistake I made that I wasn't paying attention when I hollowed this. It's too thin right here. I can either cut this square out or I'm going to take a piece of 16th, put it inside here, and glue it. I wish I wouldn't have done that, but I did. So, not a problem. Not a problem. Okay, so we're going to use medium set CA because it dries a little slower. I'm probably going to get stuck or burnt or both. And fixed it. It's basically a flush patch, how you do it in a real airplane. Only use rivets in a real airplane. That happened when I cut too deep. If you remember, I was cutting and I cut too deep. I wasn't paying attention. But that fixed it. You look inside, you can't hardly tell. Just a little piece in there. How to overcome these problems? Okay, the edge that I was talking about that was going to be high. I didn't quite grind enough of it off. And I will sit and grind on that for a bit. And we got to check the eyelets to make sure that I can get an eyelet in it. Hot. I suppose I could finish this. Bob Giske says if you don't go through in one place, you ain't sanding thin enough. So we got this definitely thin enough. Didn't go through, but sure felt soft. Might as well do this shaping in hand. Got a little hole right there. So, in order to fix that, I'm gonna take a piece of this 16th, I guess, and stick in there. Drop the CA. Well, almost 8 o'clock. Got a day's work in before the day begins. That feels pretty good. I'll hit it with 180. So let's look at do the bottom here. Let's see how it turned out again. Yeah, that spot there that was soft hardened up real nice. I probably should have went back a little farther. I really, really thinned it out there. I think I will before I go any farther. Put another piece of wood right there. So I need another piece of 16th. But if you look at this, I just scabbed this piece of wood on the inside. And that made it hard enough on the outside. It was pretty soft. I don't know. It's probably good enough as is. Get silk span on it and dope. Okay, you've watched an hour's worth of sanding. Let's get a weight on this. We'll glue it on. I need to drill these eyelets out though first. Of course, that's on the top. It looks like it's up. I'll fix it. Okay, the other one was 9 grams. This one is too heavy. 15, just like I said. So we gained 6 grams. If you go back in the video, I said it'd be 15 grams. That's exactly what it is. Now I need to find some eyelets. Okay. Are you guys still watching? Let me know if you're still watching. If not, I'll shut it off. I can move a lot faster when I don't have all this crap in the way. Okay. Eyelets. Okay, I'm going to use these copper eyelets on this one, these long jobbies. They stay in the airplane better. Perfect! Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. Making sure not to get these confused. Which ones go where? Wouldn't that be a disaster? I'm going to make a public service announcement to all you McDonald's, Taco Bell, Arby's, Wendy's, cashiers. When you hand the change back, hand the coins first. Don't hand the bills first, because when you hand the coins or the bills first and put the coins on top of the bills, it falls off on the ground, and I will let it fall onto the ground in a drive-through. But if you hand the coins first and then the bills, they won't do that. I guess they don't teach anything anymore. Somebody's a moron. Okay, front one, front hole. Come on, get in there. God. Okay, double check. Looks good. Let's turn it over. I'm going to get the top side. perfect before I do the bottom. I mean, they both got to be nice. Yeah, I wish John was here. It helps to have a third set of hands. That is low there. I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna have to add some filler. Oh well. When I dope that, it's gonna get soft anyway, and I'll have to put some filler on it. Okay. Oh man, why didn't I stop? Why didn't I get so damn close? That's 3/32. I need a piece of 16th. I'm gonna scab a little piece of 16th in there because it's way too soft. Another piece. Okay, got time to screw around. How to fix your mistakes and move on. Okay. You know what? I'm going to take this off so I can have it in hand and do this right. Otherwise, I'll be dinking around on the airplane. So we need to put some more CA on this. Fish this in there. Still gonna need filler on it, I bet. Damn, I got my finger glued to it now. Okay. We're getting it ready to go on. I because I sanded it so thin right here, or I scooped it so thin right there, I added another backer inside, which it shouldn't be a problem. You won't see it. Just a pain in the butt. You got two backers inside. Just means they're gonna have to fill it. Sand and fill and dope. Maybe I ought to coat it with C8. Well, I'll get it on there and then we'll worry about it. Yeah. Okay. This is the up wire. It goes in the front, or the down wire. Check. Hold it up there. Drop a CA. Fix that in there. It's a gap filling. We got a gap, so let's fill it up. I need my kicker. Well, I'll just glue it together and hope the best. It'll be fine. Sure wish I wouldn't have. I don't know. It might sand out. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, glue it on the bottom. You can always cut a square and plug it, I guess. Okay. So now Close enough. We'll cut this back and then patch that and it'll be perfect. I'm happy. It's a few more hours of work to get her done. I don't think you guys want to spend your day with me. Yeah. Spend your day with me watching me sand cut. We've been on 3 hours now. Or 2 hours. 2 hours and something. I don't know. Anyway, like, subscribe, share the videos. If you like what I'm doing, please join, become a member. And we'll see you in a couple hours when I got this thing all done. I might be doping. So, talk to you later. See ya.